am talking to Danielle from That Hypno Place, and Danielle kind of told me a little story about how she got segued into helping people quit alcohol and gambling. So, Danielle, tell us a little bit more about you and how it is that you got into this.
Yeah, sure, Trish. And thanks for having me. So, I think I've been involved with hypnosis for much longer than what I ever realized until I kind of look back. My mum-in-law quit smoking from a pack and a half a day of cigarettes back in the late 70s.
Oh, wow.
So that was my introduction to hypno because I only ever knew her as a person that stunk of cigarettes, right?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden she smelt beautiful. And I was like, what's changed? And I realized she wasn't standing in the kitchen while we ate our breakfast puffing away on her smokes.
Mhm.
And she said, I got hypnotized. And now whenever I think about smoking, I just feel disgusting and I will never do it again. And I was like, that's cool. So then I went and got hypnotized on stage because I was really curious. I was like 20 and I got hypnotized by a guy called Martin St. James.
Yes.
That was the greatest lesson for me in all of my career because I learnt the seriousness of pre-talk and how we can already know if we've suggested in the pre-talk that it is going to work even better for our clients. So yeah, but what happened was from that, I became what I thought was going to be a quit smoking expert, but no, no, no. The universe said to me, you could be really good at that, but we're going to make you really good at quit alcohol and quit gambling, and we're going to help with trauma, and that's
Mhm.
going to be what you do. So I've learned that addiction quite often, or bad habits quite often, have trauma attached to them somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think we've all had that little bit of small T's and big T's of trauma, but
Mhm.
everybody's story is uniquely theirs. So my clients now, I tend to do a lot of quit gambling, a lot of reduce alcohol and quit alcohol,
Mhm.
um, and a lot of trauma work, which is beautiful to see people remove that unstable foundation
Yep.
of all that stuff that's been dumped on them. Half the time, it's not even their own stuff.
Yes.
It's stuff that's been dumped on top of them and they've reacted. So you shift that and then you build this beautiful foundational relationship for themselves with themselves.
Mhm.
And hypnosis has the power to do that very quickly.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's where I'm at, and I have a beautiful, thriving practice. I've actually been in this clinic where I am now for 5 years in
Oh,
2 weeks. Yeah, but I've been doing this for a bit longer than that. So yeah, that's kind of how it is. And
so when it comes to gambling, based on your experience, what tends to trigger people to want to do this as an outlet?
I believe that with gambling, they get a hit of these beautiful winning emotions when you have a small win.
Mhm.
And it can be like we see it with kids now, the gambling with kids now, even in those machines where they can get a toy and it comes out, and now they've got this dopamine rush of winning.
Mhm.
So it attaches to that. So there's a reward, a sense of reward. And perhaps too, it's an escapism where
Yeah.
they can just mindlessly go and just push a button, push a button, push a button. But there is so much money spent on the gambling industry here in Australia. We actually have a lot of problem in Australia with gambling.
Yeah.
So a lot of my clients have never been able to buy their kids' birthday or Christmas presents.
Oh.
They turn up and they're just distraught. They've lost their family,
Mhm.
broken relationships, that type of thing. So it is a really insidious business gambling here in Australia.
Yeah.
So being able to help them completely shift that.
And then you've
Um,
got the emotional stuff. Let's just say the pokies, for example. I have heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I have heard how they keep the environment warm and they give you little cakes and coffee because it reminds you of small birthdays, and they deliberately put clocks away from the area so you lose track of time as well.
It's bigger than that too, because I've got a
Really?
client that gets flown to different destinations. He was up to 380K in arrears. His mum and dad had to sell their house. He was
Oh,
being threatened daily. They had to go into hiding.
oh,
But before that, before it got to the stage where it was so serious, he realized that he was sick. It was not. It was a sickness for him. It was not. It's not a sickness. It was an addiction that
mm,
he couldn't break.
Yes.
And he tried everything. He tried hiding. He tried making his mum and dad keep him locked up at home so he
Oh.
wasn't going to work. There was a whole lot of stuff going on. I mean, this kid was 27, young gentleman was 27,
Hmm.
but they were paying for him to go to Sydney, fly business class to Perth and stay in the top penthouses there. And they would give him chips to gamble. Then when he'd run out, he'd use his own money. They'd put
Yeah.
him on cruise ships and give him a cruise ship with a beautiful veranda on the top level. And they'd give him, $200 of gambling chips and all of his meals, but he'd come home $10,000, $15,000 down, sometimes
Oh,
more. So they spend a lot of money to make a lot of money. There's some
yes.
big stats around gambling, like huge stats. Banks have been asked by clients to stop allowing them to withdraw off their mortgages, have asked them to not allow them to have credit cards. There's stories out there that you would just, your mind would blow away if you saw the depth of this dark history of gambling that we have here in Australia.
Wow, that's fascinating because I must admit, I play poker, but I've never been a gambler per se. But I have watched other people do it and then sat in wonder, going, I wish I could understand this for you because I see the excitement that people get and then the big downfall. And there's more big downfall than excitement.
Well, they get small wins.
Mm.
So, and that's where that dopamine kicks in. And
Mhm.
then they have a heap of losses. And then they get another small win. So it's very set up to keep
Like
them
the
in that
line and fish.
high, low. Yeah, yeah, very
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Using flashy little lures to lure them in, like
And do you
it's
help people online as well?
yes. Yeah. So last week is a great example. Last week I did a fellow that was living in Alice Springs. I saw a guy in Broome, and I did a quit smoking in Darwin.
Hmm.
So I do a lot of online. I'd say though, probably not 50%. It's probably sits at around 40% of my business is online.
Hmm.
I do like online, but I like in person too.
Oh,
But it works the
absolutely.
same both ways because it is that direct delivery to the mind.
Mhm.
So whatever the people prefer.
And people can reach out to you as an expert that knows her stuff, but doesn't have to be in person. Like you can be anywhere in the world.
Oh, 100%. And it's so quick and easy. A lot of my feedback is always like, how can it be so quick? How can it be so easy? And with my business, I am highly successful, but because of a very special way that I work, I never, and I don't recommend this to people that don't work in my field to do this. You do you, but I never charge any of my quick clients at all until they're sitting in a chair in front of me, and then I qualify them. I want to make sure that I am their person
Yes.
to help them be there. So I go through a very, very specific set of questions, and they have to feel they can work with me, because if they can't be vulnerable with me,
Mhm.
then I would rather refer them on so they can be successful.
Yeah. Because it's all
So I
about the client success.
Oh, 1000%. And it's not about the money for me. The money comes organically,
Hmm.
but by qualifying them very strictly in the very beginning makes my success rate much higher, so that the people that I don't bill, they don't feel bad. They just know that they've got to change some specific things
Yeah.
before we do the work together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So if you could offer one piece of advice to somebody who's watching this, what piece of advice would you offer?
If you have any bad habit, you actually have the power within you, with the help of people like me that train in this industry, to have that bad habit gone. And I mean deleted. It's not even, it's just a distant memory way back there somewhere
Mhm.
that, like an old story that you told yourself, it's gone. So take the
I
step.
take the steps. And I remember when I had hypnosis, I can't even remember that Trish. Like I hear
Oh,
stories and I think, oh gosh, really? Oh, was she like that? You know,
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
even a distant memory thing because you're like, oh, well, I'm
I
glad
quit
I'm so much
smoking.
better now.
Yeah, well, I quit smoking with hypnosis,
Ooh,
because I thought, well, if I'm going to do hypno, I should quit smoking with it. And I blew away with how easy it was.
Mhm.
And look, I'm going to be honest. Make sure that whoever you see has the training. It's
Yes.
so important to make sure that they're registered with the people that actually recognize the true training,
Yep.
not people that are getting
Not
five
the
minutes.
YouTube special.
No, not the YouTube special. All
So yeah,
right.
check out their
Yeah.
training, check out the reviews, and by all means, talk to people like Danielle. Like she said, she makes sure that you qualify, that you are both going to achieve the success because it's all about you being successful in your goals, and she just helps guide you.
Yeah. I don't want to be just successful for me. That comes naturally, right? I want to be
Mhm.
successful for you and I want you to be successful for you. So you deserve that. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. So thank you for everybody for joining in on this conversation. Please reach out to Danielle. Her website is inside the link down in the description, and we'll see you all in the future. Bye bye.
Bye.